Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dream Business, Dream Life. This episode is being released on Becky's 33rd birthday, June the 19th, 2024. And so in my mind, there was only one topic we could talk about today, and that has to be strength. Becky was, hand on heart, the strongest person you could ever meet. And I'm not just saying that because of how amazingly brave she was after her cancer diagnosis, but because she handled everything in life and in a business with such strength. And in her short life, boy, she had a lot thrown at her. You will often hear me say that I need to channel my inner Becky. And when I say that, I mean I need to be a little bit stronger. So, what do I mean by I need to be strong? Well, business comes with lots of challenges. There's no such thing as an easy ride when it comes to growing a business. There's always going to be decisions that we're faced with that are going to make us feel uncomfortable. We have to put ourselves out there to be seen and heard because nobody else is going to do that for us. There's going to be setbacks, things that don't always go to plan. And often when that happens, that's a tough pill to swallow because we literally give everything to our business. We give it the blood, the sweat, the tears. So when things go wrong, we instinctively take that personally. We have to worry about the money. I mean, nobody opens the doors to a business and financially they become free straight away. Financially, they're making a consistent amount of income. It's often a case that we have to hustle hard until the strategy that we put in place starts to work its magic. And of course, it's not real magic. It's about you working hard. It's about you taking the action. And it's about you staying focused to make sure that it works. To run a business, you have to be strong, and you have to be strong on so many levels. There have been occasions where I've needed to be much stronger than I am, where I've needed to, channel my inner Becky. And I don't think we often give ourselves enough credit for how strong we are sometimes. I think we very much focus on the things we haven't done so well that we don't always allow ourselves to say, do you know what? You were pretty strong to get through that. And I don't always think we really allow ourselves to understand what it takes to be strong. I don't even think we always know what being strong means. How often do you hear somebody say to you, be strong, you've got this? And how many times have you said that to other people? Now, of course, when we say it, or when people say it to you, they absolutely mean it. We always do have confidence in people to do all of the things. But in that moment of desperation, where you really need to be strong, does it come naturally? Is it as easy as just to be strong? I don't think so. Let me take you on a little journey. Last year, I decided it was time to launch my in person events, the growth event. I needed to be back amongst people. I wanted to create an event that was in my neck of the woods because not a great lot goes on around here. Event that was about connection and growth. I attend lots of events. I absolutely love being in a room full of people who are like me, people who just get it. I find it empowering, but I also find that a lot of these events are quite salesy, quite samey. And I'm not criticizing that at all. It's a model that works. But I wanted to create something that was a little bit different. The growth event is launched into the world. I think it was about August 2023 when I decided to put out my first event, which was going to take place in October. So in true Emma style, I did it really quickly, and which meant I only had a really small window of opportunity to sell all of the tickets. And it starts really well. I put it out there and I start to see ticket sales coming through. So I feel confident that despite all of this self-doubt that I wasn't really sure if I could pull it off, that it was starting to happen. But then ticket sales just stop, like literally stop overnight. And at that point, the overheads weren't yet covered. At that point, the room wasn't going to be full enough to make it look like it was an event worth attending. So at that point, I decided that this event was going to be a flop. So I started to question my ability to do it. I mean, Who am I to think I can pull off an event, not only at short notice, but also in my neck of the woods with my small audience, who for the last 4 or 5 months, bear in mind, I've pretty much disowned. I've pretty much been off the radar quite a lot. So in my head, I tell myself, it's going to fail. So what do I need to do? I need to cancel it. I need to cancel it whilst I can. And I nearly did. I nearly refunded everybody who'd bought a ticket and disappeared back under my rock. But then I remembered something that Becky once said to me. She said, it has to get harder before it gets easier. And of course, she was right. She was always right. And in that moment, I realized, I needed to be more Becky. I needed to find the strength within me that I know is there. I just needed to find it. And then I needed to push through this hurdle. And I decided exactly at that moment that if this event failed, if this event did not go the way that I wanted to go, it wasn't going to be because I didn't try. So I upped my marketing. I upped my energy. I upped my belief to make it work. And guess what? It did. My first ever event was a sellout. It was everything and more than I wanted to be. I had to dig really deep to find the strength to make it work. I had to hold my nerve, but I did it and I turned it around. It would have been like the easiest thing to do, to just walk away, to refund everybody who'd bought the tickets and just to disappear into the background. And do you know what? Nobody would have given it a second thought. Nobody would have even noticed that I'd stopped talking about the event. But I was passionate about it. I knew that it wasn't just me that needed it, and I knew the impact that it could have on so many people. And if we really want to build this dream business that we talk about, then we have to be prepared to step outside of a comfort zone. And in that moment, that meant me being strong. That meant me saying, you're going to do this despite my head telling me to walk away. Now, I've always been very open and honest about sharing the true ups and downs of business. And that moment was to me very much one of my down moments. But because I held my nerve, because I decided to up my game a little bit, I turned it into what has become one of my biggest ever up moments. Being strong absolutely can be the difference between the dream business becoming the reality and you just actually giving up. But how can we be stronger? It's not as easy as just, be strong, you can do this. Well, first of all, I think we need to get clarity on what we mean by be stronger. And I think there's 2 different aspects to being strong in business. The first is personal strength. This is your ability to keep going, your ability to push through when things get tough, your resilience, your ability to go again when things don't go the way that you want them to or when things fail completely, your ability to actually do things in the first place and to take that first step. This is the real strength that Becky had. But then there's the business strength. And this is about having a robust business strategy, a business that is long-term sustainable, built on strong foundations, a business that's able to react when things aren't going the way that they want them to, a business that is able to react when the market changes, a business that is going to stand the test of time. Now, you'll hear me talk a lot about having to grow yourself in order to grow your business, and these are the exact sort of things I mean. Personal strength comes from working on yourself, from doing the personal development and from doing the mindset work, from getting to know who you are and how you react to certain circumstances, from getting comfortable with yourself, from building your knowledge, and from having that belief in yourself too. Business strength, however, comes from working on your business, not just working in it. It comes from having a strategy and from actually doing the work, from taking the action. It comes from investing in your business and it comes from taking risks too. A strong business has strong foundations that can be built on. To build this dream business, we need both. We need personal strength and we need business strength. Now, personally, I've always had the business strength, but I've lacked that personal strength, which for me has impacted on my business. It's certainly impacted on my e-commerce business. And, I've had my wobbles in this business too. And when I told you about the wobbles I had with the growth event last year, the first ever launch of the growth event, that was due to my lack of personal strength, my lack of self-belief, and my fear of failure. Of course, I found the strength to keep going. And from then on, it got easier as I had more experience the next time round. So it didn't feel as scary, because that's the thing, isn't it? We fear the unknown. So it feels scary. And that's when this lack of personal strength kicks in. But now when I get the wobbles, when I feel like something, isn't quite going the way that I want it to go, or when something makes me feel scared, and I get this a lot, I stop and I pause. And I simply ask myself, why am I feeling that way? And if the answer is fear, then I spend some time working through that, as I know that fear is not a reason to stop. Fear is just a reaction to being uncomfortable. And we all know what happens on the other side of being uncomfortable, right? Absolutely. We grow. We grow when we step out of our comfort zone. So from now onwards, I'm going to ask you to allow yourself to channel your inner Becky, to be braver in business and to be braver in life, and to hold strong when things are hard. Remember, strong foundations are critical, as once they are strong, you can literally knock everything down if you wanted to and start all over again. Thank you for listening. See you next time.